dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Get me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, Original Crew, man? We're back, man. We got the moments before a... I don't want to say it, you know what I'm saying? We're too early into the video. But you see the title. You clicked on it. Another Nick Crowley. Y'all love it, man. Oh, man. But with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want to further support? All you have to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
lock it in with a thumbs up.
But hey, man, let's hop into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what Nick got cooked up with this one, man. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get into it.
There are three perspectives to this. There's these men, covered with plastic masks, focused, waiting, stalking, as another sneaks around out front, surrounding the perimeter of a South Ogden home. There's those inside the house, a group of renters just enjoying their night, unaware of the fact that outside they were surrounded. And then there's you, watching, not only unaware, but helpless to the situation unfolding before you, as not only have you witnessed the stalking of a home, you've also witnessed the moments before a murder. In the moments following these clips, gunshots would ring out as the stalkers opened fire on a group of people inside the home. The situation would wind up with 24-year-old Kyle Van Coleman and 61-year-old Kevin Nelson being shot to death, with another young man being struck, just barely surviving. And what's most disturbing about this situation is that a motive for this attack has never been found, and neither have the killers. Security footage would show one of the men running away from the scene, but his identity has never been found. And the same is true with the others. And with this case nearing 4 years with little to no leads, it's getting colder and colder each day. An unexpected, unmotivated, and unsolved killing.
Because the problem is, even though you have cameras, the cameras are not good quality cameras. Because almost every market sells cameras nowadays. But a lot of people, just put some cameras up, they'll keep away. It really don't matter the quality. No, the quality is very important. I'd rather get something that will be in color, not in black and white, but some quality cameras that can pick up color, true imagery, so I can really tell who it is.
Well, even with that, he said that they had on like masks or something, so you wouldn't even be able to really make out their face.
And motion
their clothes,
lights.
I guess you'll be able to make out. But I wonder, was this random? Like, did y'all just see someone had their lights on?
But if they didn't steal anything or rob anything, then what's the... There's another strong motive. Was this a hit? Was this set up from one... Was this set up from one...
I'm gonna... What?
We're gonna start looking at who?
What you about to say?
No, say what you finna say.
I was just gonna want to start like looking at like trying to see like anyone in the house. What are they like? What they've been like into? Have they been like
Connected to
anything or anyone? Start looking at friends. Do you know anything that's going on, or you just never like?
What did we hear one time
Never
before?
know.
And it was something similar, but not a vacation. But this guy, he was out on. No, man, I don't want to jump into that. Damn, I do, but I don't. Because situations like this be very weird. And it does a lot of times have a motive, but a sick, nasty motive that people get rid of family by setting it up like this for an insurance policy. So you never know, man.
Terrifying thought, as it could happen to anyone. The aftermath of this event was obviously disturbing, but the way they stalked this home before their crime is chilling to say the least. And it somewhat reminds me of another infamous video clip that in many ways was even more twisted. It was June 25th, 2011. A camera points inside the home of Laura Giddings, a 27-year-old law student who was only a short time away from completing her bars. In the video, we can't see Lauren, but the man behind the camera knew she was home. His name is Stephen McDaniels, a classmate of Lauren's and her next-door neighbor, and over the previous months, he had become romantically interested in Lauren.
Not romantically interested, romantically obsessed with her.
I was weirdly obsessed.
Yeah. Not even romantic, stalker type. That's what it really is.
A feeling that was far from mutual, with Lauren turning down his offer for a date. And most people would just leave it at that. But for Stephen, the rejection made him fall deeper, to the point of obsession. He would follow her, track her movements, and since they were neighbors, he knew where she lived, and he knew when she was home. Which brings us to this clip, which, without context, is creepy enough. It shows Stephen pointing the camera in Lauren's home, seemingly trying to catch a glimpse of her. All the whilst, Lauren was completely unaware of the man outside her home. But with context, it's even darker, because not only did this clip show the moments of Stephen McDaniels stalking Lauren, it also shows us the moments before her murder. Immediately following the video, Stephen would continue his stalking inside the home. He would enter Lauren's house and creep over to the room that she was sleeping in. But as he approached, he ended up stepping on a creaky floorboard, causing Lauren to wake up. She yelled at him to leave her house, but in an instant, Stephen would lunge at her, wrapping his hands around her neck and choking her to death. The following day, he would return to her house to dispose of her body, chopping her up into pieces and throwing her in the trash. Every time I see this clip, I get chills because she never saw this coming. But some of the darkest moments of this case actually came after this footage. In the days following her death, authorities were viewing this case as a disappearance, given the fact that there was no body, and Stephen wasn't even considered a suspect.
No.
To the point where a news station casually interviewed him, assuming he was just the clueless neighbor.
I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
In the meantime, Stephen believed that he would never be caught, as by this point, the garbage should have been taken away, along with Lauren's body. Stephen really thought he was in the clear, but there was one problem. That day, the garbage truck had ran late, and detectives had gotten to the scene just before the truck would take Lauren's body away. And as the detectives pulled up, they would check the garbage can and find Lauren's sawed-off torso. It said that if they had arrived just a few minutes later, the garbage truck would have been taken away, and Stephen would likely have gotten away with murder.
That is true. That is so true, bro. He would have gotten away if it was. Damn. He even kept his composure and everything.
Crazy.
But because I was gonna ask you this, because we've had conversations before. You said like guys out here in this world are very, very crazy. You never know who you're interacting with. Vice versa, even women, but at a higher rate amongst men. When you're out, you might be out girls' night. You know what I'm saying? We talking to girls, or I mean, you having drinks or at a club or something with your friends. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to enjoy the night. If you said literally, if a guy approached me, he asked me for my number, I'm giving him my number.
I'm giving it to him.
Married or not.
Married or not, I'm giving him my number. I'm just not taking chances. I never know what type of time. A lot of men do not know how to deal with rejection. Even if I be like, I'm married, whatever the case, like, I just don't know what type of time certain people are on. So I'm not even trying to take that chance of like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to take the chance.
So with that being said, in this situation,
But
this is a different situation.
yeah, this situation is totally different.
And it's very hard to read and judge and tell someone what they should do in a situation like this. Because for one, even if she denied him, he still stalked.
Like,
hold on. She denied him, he still stalked. Even if she accepted the date, you can't let him down easy because you accepted the date now. You can't say, hey, I'm in a relationship. He's your neighbor. He sees what's going on. So how do you really turn down a guy like this in a situation like this without a ending like this?
Move. I really feel like in this.
But she was also in college. She was a student.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell somebody move.
Yeah, I'm not saying that she should have moved. I'm just saying in a situation, if I'm able to, that's my only option. That's your only option. So with this, she had no other option but to like turn him down nicely. Did that. You stalking her. You breaking in her house. Like all types of stuff. And that's not even, you remember the details. Mm-hmm. This is not even all the details. Like when she wasn't at home and you going to her house and getting certain garments and stuff like that.
He had been stalking her.
He had been stalking her and like it was so much stuff. So she like in this situation, it's kind of like, what do you do? What can you do?
To not end up
as college students, we don't have money to be like hopping here. Yeah. You don't have. She was almost done with her degree.
And did she report?
I don't remember. Like I can't remember.
I think she told somebody, one of her friends or something before.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
Other than that, I don't know from that part. But
and even if she like accepted a date just to be nice or whatever, and then like later on, like, hey, we could just be friends. Some people don't even want that.
Nope, because like he was obsessed.
Yeah, so it's just like, what do you do? It's just sad. When I heard the story, I was like, this is so freaking sad.
Because this can happen to a lot of young people, ladies.
And it has.
In college, like unfortunately, it's something that happens a lot. Yeah. In college,
and you can only do so much.
Because when I was in college, a similar situation happened at my university. Yeah. I don't know like the details, but it did lead to a guy. I don't even. The guy knew the girl. But I don't know if he was trying to talk to the girl or not. Yeah. I've seen me and the guy. We was our major was under the. We didn't have the exact same major, but we was under the same umbrella. Like you might be a business major, but you have like accounting and business management, or a science major, but you're a nurse and all these other different. I was a mass comm major, but I just remember him being in a communication building a lot, walking past him. I might probably have said what's up to him a couple times. I knew more of one of his close friends in college. I knew I had an interaction with him a couple times before, but that situation was very similar to this. He broke into her house. He unfortunately did some things and end up killing her as well.
Yeah.
So I wish I knew the answer how to, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
wish
like
we all knew.
I'm thinking, and like there's no other, cause it's, I mean, it's easy. Like you said when you asked me that, I'm like, it's easy to tell someone to move, but everyone doesn't have the means to
The
do
financial,
so.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially as a college student, you don't, and like, I mean, I I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's sad, bro. It's sad how often this happens.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, at the time Stephen was being interviewed by that local news station, he had no idea that Lauren's body had been found. And in this moment, he believed that the garbage truck had already been taken away and that he would never be caught. And so, when the news reporter mentioned the fact that they had found a body, we see Stephen's live reaction and his realization that his dark secret was about to come out.
I think that's where they had recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you heard any, had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
In the days following the interview, Stephen would be arrested and sentenced to life in prison.
He looks so different, bro. He like the interview
Oh.
and him right
Oh my
here
God.
is like night and day. He looks so...
prison. There's something about watching these moments, recorded on video. It's so
Crazy.
haunting. But the moments before a murder aren't always released in the form of footage. In fact, many of these moments are shown in the form of pictures. And there's one that has haunted me since my childhood. And I'll never forget watching some TV program as a kid and seeing this picture. The photo shows 2-year-old James Bulger with 2 other boys walking through a shopping center in Bootle, England. In February of 1993, Bulger was visiting a shopping center with his mother, Denise. During their shopping trip, Denise had taken her eyes off of her son for just a second, only to realize that he had vanished. He was by her side one moment and gone the next. After the mall was searched, it was realized that James was truly missing, and authorities began searching for the boy, which led them to this photo. It was a still shot taken from the CCTV footage in the mall that shows Bulger leaving the shopping center with these 2 unidentified boys. The discovery was strange, but it gave Denise hope, because the boys who were with James seemed like kids themselves.
Those are scouters, bro. They lit like, and also these kids could be kids that have been taken and raised up into something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they could have, they do send them in because though nobody's thinking about them. Nobody's looking at them like, hey, you know, like I told you not too long ago, this girl, you know who it is. You know who she is, but she was in a Kroger, and she confronted this guy. I swear the guy looked like he's about 17. He had a backpack on, but he had a camera in the backpack, and she said every aisle she would go down, he would go down. And he had a phone in his hand, but he had a phone in his backpack, and the phone literally set up where the camera was facing out of the backpack.
Yeah.
And literally he's recording as he walks. And she confronted him and was like, what? Because she had her daughter with her. And she was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm peeping you. He was like, like, and he literally had the camera like this. And she said, yeah, I got my phone on you now. What's up? And and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, most people that you find who are scouting for trafficking or just kidnapping or other such are women and children. People who are honestly, that can maneuver and move around with being suspicious. People are not suspecting you of doing anything out the normal because you're a woman. They're like, oh, okay, you're a woman.
Yeah.
Or you are a child, another child. It's like, okay, innocent, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, though.
Which made Denise relieved. They were probably just innocent kids trying to help a lost 2-year-old. And so, for a brief moment, there was hope. Hope that didn't last long.
Good evening, you're watching the news from ITN. Tonight's headlines: police hunting for the missing Merseyside toddler have found a body.
Bulger's deceased body would be quickly found just half a mile away from the mall, having sustained traumatic injuries. It would be just a short investigation, as authorities were quickly able to discover what exactly had happened, thanks to eyewitness testimony and the CCTV footage.
Wow.
On the day of Bulger's disappearance, 2 boys named Robert Thompson and John Venables had skipped school and visited the shopping center.
Wow.
There, they were seen on security footage, seemingly looking for someone, with one of the boys later admitting that they were looking for a child to abduct, and that's when they saw James. They grabbed him, as seen in the photo, and took him down to a nearby canal.
Wow.
There they dropped the young boy on his head and dragged him around the area, causing multiple facial wounds.
Oh, they just
The kidnappers
fucked up.
would then walk James into nearby Liverpool and take him into a variety of shops, all the while James was still crying and bleeding. It's said that throughout the entire kidnapping, at least 38 people had witnessed the injured boy, but no one reported them. All the red flags in the world were there, and people just didn't say a word.
Wow.
And if just one person had called the police, then maybe this story wouldn't have ended the way it did. After their trip into town, John and Robert would take James into the village of Walton and onto a nearby railroad, as shown from this grainy photo taken from a security camera. This would be the last moment that James would be seen alive, as he would be tortured once the 3 reached the railroad.
Wow.
The amount of torture and injuries that James sustained were unimaginable and unsurvivable, especially for a 2-year-old. After James had passed, Robert and John then buried his head under rubble and left his body on the train track. And they did this in the hope that the train would hit James, making this all look like an accident. The train would come by soon after that and strike his corpse, cutting it in half. It's devastating, and when you see this moment, you have to wonder how different things could have been if someone had just stepped in.
The fuck?
But in a case as jarring as this one, there's one more shocking note that I didn't add. As I mentioned previously, Robert and John were just boys when they killed James, and I'm not talking 16 or 17 years old.
Were they like 12?
These kids were 10 years old. The torture, the kidnapping, all of this evil.
I feel like I seen him before.
And I feel like I done seen him before, Robert. But
Came
I'm
from the
pretty sure.
hands of 2 10-year-old boys. There are simply no words for it. Despite being children, the 2 were tried as adults and recommended by their judge to serve 15 years minimum. However, they would be released just 8 years later due to a change in legislature. Cases like this are incredibly frustrating, as people were just too willing to sit back and do nothing to help this child. But there's another case that I've come across that might be even more infuriating.
Okay, ma'am, how can I help?
Not her. We just talked about her last week. Oh, 2 10-year-olds. 2 10-year-olds, see.
2 10-year-olds.
Sick individuals. Literally sick individuals.
Wow.
That's the reason why I be saying like certain things like you gotta protect your kids' like imagination, sense, keep them within their innocence as well. Cause like also introducing kids into pay attention who they hang with, pay attention to the things they're watching, their intake, the music, Like
Yeah.
the whole aspect. At 10, you still should have a good grasp, hands on in the child's life to understand your child's mindset.
Like a 10-year-old shouldn't even know about going out here, uh, taking another child, knowing torture. Like you shouldn't even know about nothing of that
Well,
nature.
if we can speak on it back in your hometown, how was the little girl?
But that's the thing though. That like yeah, now kids are exposed to so much more.
But
What
it's still,
happened in '93?
but what I'm saying is, still, that is still a big thing. Your child, you should.
Right, I agree with you. I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, I feel like kids are exposed to so much more now. I'm not saying they wasn't then, but I'm just saying now it's even worse. So just imagine if in '93, 10-year-olds is doing something like that. It's only have gotten worse, and especially now since so many parents are allowing electronics to raise their kids. Then you can only imagine like the things that are taking place, the things that they are like indulging in.
Because the little girl, she was what? The
12.
past? I'm saying the one that passed.
Oh, 8.
She was 8?
I think she was 8.
I thought she was 10. My bad.
She probably was 10.
But the little girl who did it was 12.
Let me see. Yeah, she probably was 10. She probably was 10.
Because even in that case, how vicious the crime was, and then for her to even have the mindset to clean the whole.
No, she was 8.
So the little girl.
So the little girl that passed was 8, and the one that did it was 12.
Yeah. And only reason why I bring that up because that's home, and that's the community where especially you come from, which is right down the road from where I come from, and just to hear how vicious of a crime that is, and in the manner it was done in, it's like, what the hell are the parents nowadays allowing the kids to indulge in, to even have the mindset of knowing how to do a crime like that, and then how to clean up the scene to make it
like you cleaning up, like you repositioning the like so much stuff is like happening like during, before, after.
Also, let me ask you this: do you feel as though at 12 years old, with the type of crime that was, should that child be tried as an adult? At 12 years old, how vicious of a crime for you to knowing the reason why the crime happened, then the way the crime was done, and to clean it up to hide the crime. It's very much so, like, so evil.
Yeah.
Do you try them as an adult? Because if you try them as an adult, that's life.
Yeah.
Because that's 100% premeditated all the way around. You actively knew.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know what they are, if they're going to try as an adult. I do know that she's charged with first degree.
But it's up in the air if not.
As far as but
if you was the prosecutor,
I have such a soft spot when it comes to kids. So, like me, it's hard for me to say yes because I feel on both sides. Like I feel for the 8-year-old, like she lost her life to something so vicious, and then the 12-year-old, like I always like, especially I always like picture myself like it's, I don't know, I always try to like, that's hard. That's hard for me. I hate you asking me that. That's hard for me because I have such a soft spot when it comes to kids. But I will say the how it happened, the reason behind it happened, like aftermath, like all of that. It's kind of like that's vicious.
Because let me put it like this: if you try them as an adult, it's like, damn, at 12, the life is done. But I also think of it like this: if you don't try them as an adult, and that 12-year-old get juvenile life, whether they have an out date.
Yeah.
It's within them. Do they go through the proper rehabilitation to
I think about
rewire
that.
them? And if I can get away with it, then it's a possibility
That you
I
would do
do it
some,
again,
yeah. I see, cause
or something.
or something like you will go down this, or not, maybe not.
It's a low chance though.
But yeah, it's a lot. And I do think about that too. I think about what you just said, and then I also think about like, dang, this is a 12-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
like life gone. If so. But then I also think about it like if they just do, juvenile life or whatever, and they get out at 20.
This is 21, 25. I can't remember.
20 something or whatever. Yeah. Then do you come out and a changed person, or do you come out worse off?
Because
a
lot of people at 21 you still ain't developed all the way yet. So just imagine, like I always say, when you go in jail, a lot of times your life stops right there. When you come out, you pick back up where you left out. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't. If you know about the case, let us know in the comments. A lot of people know about the case. Mm-hmm. If you don't, just look up 12-year-old murder of an 8-year-old. You'll understand. But you ready?
Yeah, ready.
Be even more infuriating.
Okay, ma'am, how can I help you?
I woke up this morning and my daughter was not in the house. I don't know if she walked out or I don't know what's going on, but she's not here.
How old is your daughter?
She's 5.
The following was just a clip of Antoinette Davis's 911 call on November 10th of 2009. And the pain in her voice is clear, and it's understandable why she was feeling this way, because her 5-year-old daughter, Shania, had just gone missing from her home. The night before, she was sleeping peacefully in her bed, and the next morning, she was nowhere to be seen. It's a mother's worst nightmare, and authorities would quickly rule that foul play was likely. Their theory was that someone had snuck into the Davises' home and stole Shania during the night without being noticed. As the search for Shania began, police would soon acquire security footage that showed the young girl being carried by a man in a nearby hotel. The footage shows the two near the elevator, about to head up to the man's room. With a screenshot of this recording being released to the public in an attempt to help find the man in the photo. A lot can be insinuated from just this one frame, but as we'll soon find out, things were even worse than what they seemed. On the 13th of November, a man named Mario McNeil would come forward as the man seen in the viral photograph. He would turn himself over to authorities, but at first refused to speak any more on the situation. However, the following day, he would reveal a disturbing fact about Shania's disappearance. He told authorities that Antoinette had fallen into debt with Mario, as she had owed him a substantial amount of drug money. However, Antoinette didn't have the money at the time, and needed to find a way to pay Mario back. And it was then that Mario suggested she used a different kind of payment, sex. And so that's exactly what Antoinette resorted to. Only she didn't sell herself.
I woke up this morning and my daughter was not in the house. I don't know if she walked out.
Instead, she used her 5-year-old daughter as payment, giving her to Mario so that he could use as a slave. It's the most vile thing a mother could ever do, and it's not even the worst part. The quote-unquote substantial amount of money that Mario was owed was just $200. Antoinette sold her own daughter for $200. Shania would later be found in a ditch alongside of the road, having been suffocated to death by Mario. And piecing things together, it appears that after this clip was taken, Mario had taken the girl up to his room and strangled her there. Today, Antoinette is still in prison, with Mario being sentenced to death. These moments before murders are all disturbing in their...
When, that case is always has disturbed me. And there's so many times, like, we've heard about cases like this, and cases like this is still going on to this day. When was the first time you ever heard about that case?
Uh, what year did it happen?
Oh, 09. I know when. I know how I first heard about it. I know
It happened in 09.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, do you remember?
I
like,
don't remember like when I first heard about it, but I know I heard about it.
So
because I remember the first. Okay, go ahead.
No, say.
I was just gonna say because I remember like some of like most of like the details of it. I just don't remember like the exact like time, year, or whatever that. Like I'm not sure.
So I remember first time I ever heard about the case was J. Cole. He actually made a song dedicated to her in one of his mixtapes, and I was like, huh? And it was talking about, because I think it happened his hometown, I want to say, if not nearby North Carolina, but and I was like, huh? And so that was made me look it up. But yeah, J. Cole he brought light to it and talked about it in one of his mixtapes, and I can't remember which mixtape and which song, and I was like the way he talked on it and I think he did it justice to bring awareness to it, because a lot of people wasn't aware.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying, but yeah, that was a sick situation, and I don't think he just went upstairs and killed the. Yeah, he did other things.
But I don't want to.
And why the hell did he think he was gonna get away with that? Let's go.
Their own way, and they all have something in common. They were captured on CCTV footage, but there have been other moments captured by the victims themselves, as they show a first-hand perspective of what was soon to come. And in many ways, that can be even more horrifying. Most notably, 24-year-old Cindy Loof had posted a selfie to her Snapchat, expressing her excitement for her upcoming date. She had no clue that this would turn out to be the moment before her murder. That night, Cindy was set to meet up with a woman she had met on Tinder named Bailey Boswell. The two had been on a date the day previous, with things going well enough to warrant a second date.
Oh, wow.
However, things would take a strange turn when, after being lured into Bailey's apartment, Sydney was introduced to Aubrey Trail, a 51-year-old man who happened to be Bailey's boyfriend. Cindy had no idea that this was never planned to be a date. It was a setup for her murder. At the home, Aubrey would strangle Sydney with an extension cord, choking her to death. From there, the two would saw her body into 14 pieces and discard them throughout the area.
That's crazy.
It was certainly twisted, but this murder was anything but random, as it was later confirmed that the couple had planned to murder her that evening, with them being caught on security footage purchasing the saw they used to cut up her body the day before the killing.
How old was Aubrey? Well, he didn't say.
I think he did say.
She was young, though. What, a 51-year-old? Weird.
This was all planned out. But why kill Sydney? Well, the answer would be difficult to find at first, as there was no sign of either Bailey or Aubrey. The two had left town as soon as authorities started looking for them. Despite them running from the police, they weren't completely out of sight, as the two would frequently post videos online updating the public on their case and cussing out those trying to track them down.
The Lincoln Police Department apparently wants everyone to believe that we're hiding, that we haven't talked to them, that we're avoiding them. I wish.
Look at y'all talking about we ain't hiding. Bro, you over here with a black ski mask and all black, and she with a black hoodie with glasses. Come on now. Y'all are hiding. And y'all are dumb, bro, because every time you post a video, I can track your location with the right tools. We can see where you're posting this at.
Wish the family the best. I mean, no disrespect to anyone. I wish Sydney the best. But as far as the police department, you.
It's truly bizarre. And despite the two being on the run, they would eventually be caught and questioned. which is when the true horrors of this case would be revealed, as the 51-year-old Aubrey Trail would admit to running a cult. He referred to himself as the vampire, and he enlisted the help of young women to help him steal different antiques, perform sexual rituals, and carry out heinous murders. He told the women that doing these tasks would give them powers, and that the more brutal the murder, the more power they would gain. It's extremely disturbing, and it's especially shocking knowing that he actually did have a following, with at least 12 women being linked to the cult. However, despite this information, and Aubrey apparently bragging at one point that he had killed several people, there is to this day no actual proof that he was responsible for any other murders besides Sydney's. It's something straight out of a movie, with the case featuring many twists and turns, with perhaps the most dramatic coming back in the summer of 2019 during Aubrey's trial.
Please be seated.
Bailey is innocent and I curse you all.
Stop recording.
Inside the courtroom, he would slash his neck open in an attempt to take his own life.
Wow.
He would, however, survive the ordeal and would later be convicted of first-degree murder, with Boswell still awaiting her trial. With everything that happened in this case, it's crazy to think back to where it all started. Sydney was just a young woman excited for her date, who had no idea that this day would be her last. And for her, she likely saw no red flags that night. Before our final case, the warning signs couldn't have been more obvious.
Nick, we got too many cases.
It happened in Warren, Michigan, where 20-year-old India Mackey would enter the car of her 18-year-old boyfriend, Kevin Dixon. And it's unclear what exactly had sparked it, but as the two sat in the vehicle, an argument began, and the two started shouting back and forth. As the argument progressed, Dixon would pull out his handgun and start loading it. However, it appears at the time that Mackey didn't believe he would actually shoot her, and so she pulled out her phone and calmly began recording him. The video shows the two speaking back and forth as Dixon wipes his fingerprints off of the bullets he was loading. As the video continues, Dixon talks about how he's going to shoot her.
You think I'm playing, huh?
Okay.
You think I'm playing, huh? Hit you with this big 4-5 hollow tips, gonna eat your up.
But Mackey appears unbothered. And watching this all, it's so shocking how casual the video is. It's very clear that Mackey didn't think her life was in danger. She just sat there, casually responding to him and holding the camera still. Her hands weren't even shaking. Mackey didn't believe that Dixon would go through with this. But he did. Immediately after this video stopped, Kevin Dixon would shoot India Mackey point blank with the very gun he was cleaning in front of her. She was killed instantly. After the shooting, Dixon would drive erratically away with Mackey still in the passenger seat before eventually being pulled over and arrested for her murder. Kevin Dixon remains in prison to this day.
That's crazy, bro.
That was too much for me. I
And-
love it.
And we just came across another situation that happened last year, and because we found out about a murder that happened last July, and the guy literally just got picked up and charged for the murder this year. And then when I found out who the girl was, I was like, huh? I said, she dead? I said, no, she ain't. And then kind of found out, I didn't know she was popular on TikTok. Her name is April Holt, and she's from where we're from, where we reside at now.
Yeah.
She's from here, and I didn't know she was as popular and famous on TikTok. Also, I have family members that are real close with her family as well, and because I used to see him all the time in passing, and I seen him around on like just vicinities and places. You never seen her before, but I've seen her plenty of times around because I knew who she was and stuff like that. And I was like, she's dead. I said, no. I said, she ain't. Kind of find out. I honestly I don't understand how the police thought she did it. Did it to herself, self harm.
Yeah.
Because she was found in her bathroom with a bag around her head. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And for him to tell the son to go check on his mom and the son to find her that way is very fucked up. It's a fucked up situation. Yeah. You said what?
I said to say the least.
I didn't hear you at all because of the headphones. My bad. But and then for him to up and leave and
move to a different state,
to a whole nother state on the other side of that state, I'm just like I'm like, because they really used to talk about their marriage and their relationship and how they were so in love. And then I showed you the video of them talking about going through a divorce and how we're going to remain best friends and all this. But
shortly after
that video, you do that to her.
And then all on social media, like, oh, I'm a widow, my love, my this and my that.
I miss you so much.
That's crazy.
I wish you were still here with us. We need you and all this. And it's just like,
that's insane.
She'll be here if it wasn't for you. And then now you eventually want to confess to it. A year later, you like, all right, I get it.
Took this girl life for what?
All because she wanted a divorce. Which is
now
weird.
These kids don't have their mom.
Yeah. For what?
That's a lot. It's just so much.
Yeah, man. But y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below, man. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Here Nicole.
We are.
We are.
No time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.